This is Lichten Day, Saturday at Woodstock!
MTV News was forced to get off of home base. We thought it was too dangerous.
They said too many people are getting hurt.
There were 10 people that were taken off site.
A lot of people have been talking about these fires, but it was so much more than that.
Podcast 99.
Hello, folks. I'm Ryan Lichten, one of the co-hosts and co-founders of Podcast 99 and Culture Dumps. Now, on our shows, we do a lot of research, and it's not just looking up articles online or watching documentaries or even interviews with the subjects. There's a lot more to it, and especially when it came to Podcast 99. How does one cover 3 days of music and mayhem better than anyone else and more extensively than anyone else? You know, there's been documentaries made, some multi-parters, that kind of stuff. But Podcast 99, in my humble opinion, is still the gold standard for Woodstock 99 storytelling. And when we started the show, we realized that in order to really get our hands dirty and really put ourselves at Griffiths Air Force Base in that fateful July of 1999, we needed to touch Woodstock 99. So we started collecting. And what I have in front of me are kind of our premier Woodstock 99 artifacts that really, you know, help us kind of peer through a window into Woodstock 99. So I'm going to show some of my favorite things here. One of our biggest, I guess, resources that we had was, of course, the Woodstock 99 mystery tape, as we've been calling it. It's the Rome Sentinel Reporter's Notebook. And when we found this tape, it was $20 on eBay. We had no idea what was on it. And it is truly, I mean, the label that I put on it for our pop-up exhibit is the Rome Sentinel Reporter's Notebook VHS. This is the single most important resource for Woodstock 99 information. And what it is the reporters from the local Rome newspaper, the Rome Sentinel, were sent into Woodstock 99 with handheld cameras to just capture anything. Of course, they didn't know it was going to go the way it did. And actually, a really good example of kind of the expectation versus the reality of what happened is shown through the stack of newspapers that I was also lucky enough to get. I had bought a package of a dozen newspapers, all released during that weekend, many of which are Rome Sentinel newspapers. And when you put them kind of in chronological order, folks, what happens is it kind of reads like a horror movie. So we have here the Daily Sentinel, Rome, ready to rock. And it's all about the setup. And here you have a little shot of the peace wall as it's being made. But as you go on, it kind of starts to change. Here's another one. The Dove has landed, showing the Woodstock 99 Dove that was on the West stage. Concert gates open early for happy fans. It's like the start of a horror movie. Everyone's showing up to summer camp, but they don't know that there's the axe murderer in the woods yet, kind of thing. You know, everyone's jumping off the dock into the lake, having a good time. Oh, this is a good one. Not Your Father's Festival. And it has a picture of Dave Matthews Band as the example of how this festival isn't for your dad. I mean, they could have picked Seven Dust. They could have picked ICP. They could have picked Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Korn, a billion other bands that played, but the way they wanted to show that this festival is really crazy was by putting Dave Matthews on the thing. Not your dad's festival. No, this is exactly your dad's festival as it's being shown there. But things start taking a turn. See, you have this one here. Heat Won't Wilt Woodstock Spirit. And this one came out, so this was Saturday evening. So Limp Bizkit had played Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, the Big Three, and things are really starting to kind of take a turn, but not according to the media, not yet. But then after Sunday, that's when things get really good. We have Woodstock Ends Aflame. With the classic picture. Now, if you watch our live show, which is available on YouTube and on our Patreon, patreon.com/culturedumps, we found out who that guy was. And I believe we even spoke to him on the show. So that's spectacular. But then we have my all-time favorite Woodstock 99 headline, Orgy of Arson and Looting. Just, I mean, how many times do you see the word orgy on a front page headline, period? I mean, and the pictures shown are the refrigerated trucks after they had exploded. We've heard many of the survivors on our show discuss that. Some of the survivors were actually in those trucks, stealing stuff shortly before they exploded. And then the most dramatic one, this is kind of the one that sums it up. This is a different newspaper. This is the Observer Dispatch from Utica, New York, and this came out the Tuesday after Woodstock 99, and they dubbed it "The Day the Music Died." Little dramatic, even for all the shit that did go down, and not to trivialize any of the bad things that went on there. I mean, obviously looting is terrible, fires and property destruction, all that stuff, and then of course all the sexual assaults and things like that occurred. But to call it the day the music died still is a bit of a stretch. But those are the newspapers that we have that kind of supplement the mystery tape. But the thing with Woodstock 99, one of the problems with it, and the reason why things went the way they did, was because of all of the corporate greed and the cash grabbery and all that stuff. And that's really exemplified with some of the merch. This is one of my favorite pieces here. This is a lighter, and it is a Woodstock 99 Film Festival lighter. IFC channel, Independent Film Channel, they had a hanger that they took over at Woodstock 99, and they played films. And actually, one of our favorite survivors ever, Audio Andy, who archived everything that he got from Woodstock 99. He actually has the film schedule, and they were playing stuff like Blue Velvet, Pulp Fiction, all like the cool movies at that time. They even played a John Waters film in Smellorama and gave out special Woodstock 99 John Waters Smellorama smell cards, which is crazy. But this is a lighter only made to promote the film festival at Woodstock 99. Like, who knows how many of these are filling landfills, and who knows how many of these help start the fires. Mine doesn't work, but it's still got that spark, baby. Now let's see. Another great one. This is actually probably my favorite piece of merch. I have, a lot of stuff here, but out of the things that you could get as a concert goer at Woodstock 99, we have here a keychain. Not just any keychain, though. It comes with a condom, and they made a ton of different ones of these. Some looked like a ticket stub from the original Woodstock. And also, though, now that I'm holding it in my hands and really talking about it, if I was, with a lucky gal and I was going to be the lucky guy and, oh, do you have a condom? Yeah, it's in this keychain. I'm not getting this out. There's no, I do not know how I would be able to bust this open and get to the possibly life-saving, life-altering piece of latex that's encased within. But this particular keychain, it has a peace sign, and it says peace condom. And then it says, I come in peace. It's amazing. Like, this is just honestly one of my all-time favorite pieces that I have. A condom inside, and noted that the condom is still in here. It was not used. That's just something to think about. But they had like interesting things. Like they had, you could get a Woodstock 99 MasterCard. Like there'd be a MasterCard tent, and you could open up a fucking credit card at Woodstock 99, and then they would give you a Woodstock 99 commemorative credit card. You had calling cards to use with the payphones, things like that. But as far as cards go, I found these recently, and what they are, they're just collector's items. They serve no purpose other than to be put on display, and even then, I don't know how you would do that. But they're gold-plated. Apparently, it's a very low pure gold count, but these are gold Woodstock 99 cards. And each one has a guitar on it that has a different kind of inlay, a different color. And on the back, it has the lineup, and you could tell, 22 carats. It says right there on the back. I'm going to sell these one day. I'll pawn them to buy more Woodstock stuff. But there are, and they're numbered too. I have, let's see. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I got 552. I got 1,035 here. If you have the rest, it'd be great to get all like 10,000 of these together in one place. But the lineup is listed on the back here. And one of the things that happened at Woodstock 99 is they kind of preemptively struck, so to speak, with the merchandise. So there's bands on this lineup, like Sugar Ray is on here, for instance. They did not play. Like they had the initial lineup. They started running merch, and then bands dropped off. Things got moved around, but they still had this shit. Which is hilarious. So I wonder if it's even rarer. But yeah, it has the full lineup on the back, and it says "Making History." I have all 4 of the gold-plated Woodstock 99 cards. I have no idea why they made them, but they did. But I would say that maybe, and then of course, no Woodstock 99 collection would be complete without an actual ticket stub and wristband. This wristband is very similar to what you might find at like an all ages club or something where they have really cheap quality wristbands that could easily be destroyed, taken off, swapped, faked, any of that stuff. But it was the 90s. What are you going to do? So, yeah, you have a ticket stub here. The price for 3 days of what was supposed to be peace, love, and music, $155. That equates to still under the cost of a Coachella ticket now. So for the world's premier festival with all the biggest headlining acts in the country, some international, you could see it for less than the cost of going to a 2-day festival now. It's kind of remarkable. But again, I think the tickets were so what might have been considered affordable then because of how expensive everything else was going to be. And that's what was a surprise to the concert goers. But yes, you have to have the ticket stub and the wristband. You absolutely have to. If you remember, I believe she was our second guest, Pony. She had her concert journal from back when she was a teen, and she still had her ticket and wristband. If you remember, she was the one that held up the sign that said Mike Ness, marry me, and then he stopped the set to mention that sign, and it was a clip that was seen on MTV and everything. She also was the one that got a job selling pizza at Woodstock 99 just to get a pass and then never showed up for work. That happened a lot. But aside from merch and things that the concert goers have, I feel like another really unique aspect to our collection are all of the kind of staff goods and things like that, things that the employees would have, things that were given to artists as well. Right here, this is kind of a 3-pack. These are transportation passes. So you have the yellow one here. That would be your camping pass if you were an attendee or an employee that was going to just be camping there because you didn't have amenities offered to you. So that would be what you show to get into the transportation gate. The one in the middle, that is to get through a toll area. And then, of course, we have the parking pass for Woodstock employees. And these could be so easily faked. These are just made on printer paper. There's nothing unique about them. There's nothing special. There's nothing like bootleg proofed about them at all. And I feel like if technology were at a point, as a little bit of a further point in 1999, you would have seen tons of counterfeit ones of these being made. Because what happens now at a lot of festivals, and there's people that are really big on social media with this, is one person from their group will buy a pass, and then they get their pass, they bring it home, and then they figure out how to doctor them up, and then they make a bunch for all their friends. And there's people that make a living doing this. It's really crazy. If only you could go back to Woodstock 99 and do that. Now, this next bit, this is some of my favorite things that I have. We have Woodstock 99 meal tickets and drink tickets. The drink tickets were, of course, given out to VIP guests, artists, stuff like that, like anyone that was going to actually go into the concert grounds and still wanted free shit. But they were also what you would purchase, not the meal tickets, but the drink tickets. If you went to the beer garden, you would pay for 2 tickets at a time. And they were so overpowered by the crowds that what happened was people working there would just give out, they'd just be like, fuck it, put $20 down, here's a stack of them. And they were just giving them out because people were, buying them faster than they could hand them out. So I had bought a thick book of these that someone just happened to have and save after all these years. But yes, we have the drink tickets down here. And of course, it says, know when to say when, drink responsibly. I'm sure those words were heated. Also, you'll see Ogden Entertainment printed on both of these tickets. Ogden was the craft service company that was hired to bring in all the food vendors and the drinks and all that stuff, which I believe was co-owned, or he was at least a shareholder, but John Scher, the evil man in the tower, the kind of face of the negative side of Woodstock 99. I mean, Michael Lang, of course, is to blame as well, but he was never pictured the same way John Scher was, because Michael Lang founded the original Woodstock, and he still had that kind of hippie sensibility. I mean, everyone we've talked to that met him always say, oh, we smoked a joint together, he was so nice. And then John Scher was like all business. So Ogden Entertainment, Woodstock 99 brought to you by a corporation. And yeah, meal tickets, drink tickets, I'm surprised they weren't used. But at the end of the day, you didn't have to pay for a lot of stuff when everyone's grabbing things. The other thing that you'll see here is the Woodstock 99 site map, and that's at the top. And what that is, it's a laminate, and that came with your employee pass. So you always had a map on you that would be, mud proof, waterproof, shit proof, whatever proof. And when you look at the lay of the land, it looks so manageable, but then you realize that these stages are miles apart, separated by long stretches of black tarmac in 100-degree weather, just soaking up every bit of that heat. The first aid tents, which got, heavy usage, venue comfort area, I doubt that was being used a lot. But, it's like with the comfort areas, that was really just a place to catch shade. Like nowadays, they would have like charging stations, right, for your cell phones at festivals, and it'd be like a misted tent or something like that. This was just a place to chill out. They would have the phone banks there with the pay phones and all that. But as we learned from other survivors, the Tibetan monk tent was a really good place to catch a nap. So was the film festival tent, or hangar, I should say. But that kind of just like, it's so weird holding that stuff, because I'm like, damn, if I had a time machine, I could get free booze at Woodstock 99, and that would honestly be my first stop. Now, we had someone ask about this recently. This is the Woodstock 99 Employee Handbook. And what this was, it sounded a lot more promising on eBay's description than when I actually got it, because I was thinking it was going to be like things to look out for, what to do in this situation, like, and kind of see what kind of preparation the staff was given. But really, no. I mean, someone had to go to Kinko's. They probably got a couple hundreds of these made, and it's all just contact information. So you have like all the local pharmacies, medical references. When I got this, we talked about it. Oh yeah, here you go. You have Michael Lang's number right here for his office, because they set up offices in the military office buildings on the Air Force Base, kind of as a home base. So everyone had their own landline and everything like that. If you want Michael Lang's Woodstock 99 number, well, you first have to call reception at the Griffiths Business and Technology Park, as they had called it, which is on 592 Hangar Road. And yeah, they gave themselves their own address, Woodstock 99, Building 100, and then at Griffiths Air Force Base. But you'd call reception at 315-709-2029. I can't imagine that number is still in service, and if it is, I'm sorry. And Michael Lang's extension would be 2056. So you can call Michael Lang, rest in peace. But, you have all the vendor people, Ogden, Woodstock 99 Library. I don't know what that is. I mean, we know that they had their own courthouse that was built there, and their own even holding cell, as our infamous survivor Dave got to experience firsthand. But yeah, Building 437. I don't know what that library would be. They had Human Resources Department. Fantastic. If only they had that for the people that attended there. So it's just a lot of contact info, but the money wire info, things like that. But then say, because some of these people were there weeks out, even months before the festival and long after. So personal services, with this old timey photo of like laundry being done in the 1800s, but local dry cleaners, nail salons, massage parlors. If you have time to go to a massage parlor while you're setting up the biggest festival of the decade, I don't know. Now, entertainment. This is great, with a picture of Janis Joplin, of course. Shouts out to our latest survivor, Diana, the legend. All the local radio stations, television stations, stores, music stores. You can go to the Last Unicorn music store, Listen Up, Off-Center, get yourself bookstores, movie theaters, video rental places. All of that stuff is listed here. So it again, very, very underwhelming compared to what we thought it was going to be when we see that a Woodstock 99 staff handbook was made available. Food and drink. This always made us laugh. As I'm pawing through these pages, where I should be wearing gloves. I should be treating this like the Smithsonian treats their stuff, but the binder is falling apart on me. All the local restaurants, which is great, and then clubs and bars. Oh yeah, Gooch's. That was the one. I knew that there was a good one. Gooch's Bar and Grill. That's fantastic. It's Showtime. Mr. McGill's, Tiny's Grill. I think I'm definitely more of a Gooch's. There was a Denny's. So they just want you to know. Oh, and then recreation, because of course you're going to have time for recreational activities. You could go to one of the many tourist attractions, like their Baseball Hall of Fame, Vernon Downs Raceway. Vernon Downs was a very, very famous concert venue, an event venue. There's a golf course. So again, it's just stuff like that. And then I got excited at the end here because it says maps, but it's a very hard to understand map of the Air Force Base. It's really nothing special. Everything else I've shown you is far more impressive than what should have been one of the best things that we got. But that is the Woodstock 99 staff handbook. But if I had to pick a headliner, the Limp Bizkit of my collection, it's probably going to be the t-shirts. And the t-shirts are special because, and I used to have a lot more, but we sold some to get some money for our other show, Culture Dumps, right? So Culture Dumps was built on the back of these t-shirts that are now on the back of Woodstock 99 Fanatics. But these t-shirts are interesting because every single department, whether you were a vendor, a sound guy, an artist, a security guard, you all had your own t-shirts made, and there would be ads printed on the back for the company sponsoring the festival. So anything they could put a label on or a brand logo or something, they would. This is probably the most recognizable of all the t-shirts. This is a Peace Patrol shirt. Peace Patrol was, of course, the Woodstock 99 security. The yellow t-shirts, of course, when you watch a lot of the footage, especially daytime sets, you'll see these cut up and used as head wraps on the guys in the front row, the giant dudes that were just hired for that weekend. And then, of course, these shirts became kind of a target, if you will, during the looting, because anyone that represented Woodstock 99 on a employee level, staff level, media level, you became kind of a fixture of anger, for the crowd. So a lot of these were ditched, but I also feel like a lot of them were never even picked up. But there you have the legendary Peace Patrol Woodstock 99. And just so you know, folks, pro tip, after the documentary came out on Netflix, which of course was the second one to come out after the HBO one, not to mention ours, which has been yet to be released, Burn It Down, a lot of bootleg shirts of these came up. If you want to tell the difference, your first hint, okay, that one is a bootleg, is if you're able to choose multiple sizes. Okay, that should be dead giveaway, because who the fuck has like unlimited amount of smalls of these? First of all, you don't want a Peace Patrol guy to be small. Okay, these are large, extra large at best, Ideally, you want a double XL Peace Patrol guy. But you'll see here at the bottom, there is a Converse logo. That's your ad placement on the Peace Patrol. And I mean, while you couldn't really see the ads on the shirts, I mean, you're still a walking billboard. Now, this one, I want to say, is probably one of the least utilized shirts that they made. This is an artist shirt from Woodstock 99. So if you're in one of the biggest bands in the world, they're like, oh, here's your artist pass and your credentials, and then here's your shirt. Not a single person wore one of these. Actually, what's his name? Barry Worrell, the keyboardist from Parliament Funkadelic, who performed with George Clinton but also had his own solo set. He wore his artist shirt on stage, which is hilarious to me. Let's flip it around here. Yep, artist right there. Again, another Converse logo. Converse really getting their money's worth with this product placement. But artist. Now, we've talked about at length how the most mysterious aspect of Woodstock 99 is the rave, because the rave started around 10, 11 p.m. and went until 5 a.m. And that was every night of the festival. And it wasn't, because that's when the camera crews that were working all day finally get their break. So there was no live stream or pay-per-view of the rave. And also, it was just too gnarly. One of our last survivors that we had on, Gordo, who was literally sent to Woodstock 99 to film crazy shit, said that they were told don't film in the rave because it's too crazy. But our friend Matt over at the Atlanta podcast, he and Obstacle Racing Media, he found this. This is a Woodstock 99 rave party shirt for the staff of the rave party, which sounds like a cop would wear it. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm here for the rave party. Like that, it doesn't sound like a cool person was actually doing that. But also, I'm sure the cool people weren't wearing their staff shirts at the rave, but a Woodstock 99 rave shirt. And of course, the rave is where a truck drove in on the second night during Fatboy Slim's set, and people were rocking it. And the rumors surrounding the rave range from everyone was having a good time to a woman was pulled into the back of a van that was mysteriously driven into the thing, and no one could get her. Like, just crazy stuff. Now, this next one, this is my favorite out of all of them, and it's probably the most pointless. So you'll see here, Woodstock 99, very, just simple graphic. But this was a vendor shirt, and it was a vendor shirt for the Sausage and Peppers guys. Like, this is the fucking coolest one that I have. Sausage and Peppers vendor at Woodstock 99 in the West Food Court. And if you remember, if you've seen the mystery tape, there's a great panning shot of all of the food vendors, and it just says chicken, 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 potatoes, hamburgers, chicken, chicken, sausage and peppers. It's all the same signs. It's like carnival food. Ogden didn't really pull out any stops. And also, though, from everyone we've talked to that was backstage, the craft services for the artists and everyone wasn't impressive either. It was described to me many times as, stofers kind of stuff, or just like easy barbecue. But Woodstock 99 Sausage and Peppers. I do have one other shirt, though, that I love. It's not my favorite as far as the content, but it means the most, and it's the ugliest. This color is horrible, and it's a button-up. It's like a baseball-style button-up. You can see the insignia there. And then on the back, it has the complete lineup. And again, this shirt was produced before the lineup was finalized, because there's bands on here that didn't play. I think Aerosmith is listed on here, Sugar Ray. But if you look real close, and we'll show this again. I've talked about this a lot. This shirt's actually autographed by two of the artists that performed. My goal is to get as many as I can. But it's signed by Korn, which is obviously a huge deal. They're one of the most legendary groups that performed at that festival. But it's also signed by Guster, who we had a hell of a time making fun of and everything on the show, and really, really talked smack. But I saw that they were playing at a local record store. So I bought the record, I got the pass, and I brought this shirt. And when I got up to the front of the line to meet them, I was like, oh, I have a podcast about Woodstock 99. They're like, oh, yeah, we heard that. You guys trashed us. And they knew exactly who I was. They knew the show. They had heard it. I was so embarrassed. But they were fine. And then they signed it. They signed it. And I said, yeah, you guys are the second band to sign this. The first was Korn. And they're like, oh, yeah, the Legends of Woodstock 99, Korn and Guster, of course. So, cool guys. But, yes, so I have a signed Woodstock 99 shirt. I'm hoping to get some more signatures. But as you can see, I wanted to show that this little bit of, I have stacks of other stuff, too. But this is really the gold of the collection. This is the high price items, the treasures, if you will, the treasure dumps, right? Because that's what this series is. We're pulling out things from the Culture Dumps and Podcast 99 archives, just to kind of show that research is a lot more than just reading and taking notes. It's feeling things, it's touching things, it's being around the aura of whatever subject you're researching. So I hope you found this as enthralling as I had fun doing it. Keep on dumping, and we will see you at Woodstock.